So guys, we have started the webinar. Kindly join. It is showing that there are 0 viewers. So I shall start when there are at least 4 or 5 students that are viewing this webinar. Actually, there was some technical difficulty with this Google Hangouts. Create a new link. Okay, now there are 30 viewers, so I'll start. So what I'll do is, in this webinar, we'll do a thing differently is, what we'll do is, we will only take a look at the doubts that are conceptual. Happen is, I'll be able to explain you in a better manner. Anyways, I am regularly answering on your Facebook group, okay? So I guess it would be better if I can explain you certain concepts in which everyone is facing difficulty. That would be more helpful for all of you. So shall we start? So first question is by Vishnu Mukundan. I'll be taking doubts only from the Facebook group. Okay, whatever questions you have posted. First question is, please explain EPI and PI in KMAP and cases of non-unique solution. See, Vishnu, what happens is, suppose I take let us take a 3 variable KMAP. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Now let me place some ones here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, let us say 1. Okay. What happens is, if you group them, so we will first start to form the biggest group like this. BC. Okay. Then this will be a pair. Then this will again be a pair. So first rule is rule number 1. Do not form subgroups group. Okay. This you have to remember. That is, if I am forming a square, I will not form any such pair like this. That is not to be done. So you have to first form the biggest pair and then you will form smaller ones. And if there is any possibility of any repetition, you have to consider that. In this case, there are 3 API, 1, 2, and 3. There are only 3 PI and all 3 are EPI. Add one more here. Okay. So if I add one more here, what will happen? This will also be a pair and this will also be a pair. So I have added 2 more PIs, 4 and now how many of these are EPI? Now if you see, one is a square which have 2 unique ones which are not covered in any other group. First one is this, second one is this. First one is a EPI. Have at least one min term which is not covered by any other grouping, then it is said to be EPI. Okay. This one, this second, if you see second, in that this one is being covered in square, in a pair. So it is not a EPI, it is only a PI. In third one, covered in a square as well as in a pair. Okay. Is also covered in a square as well as a pair. So third one is also a PI. EPI. Similarly, fourth one is which one? This one. By 2, so it is also a PI. One, in this both ones are covered by more than one, so it is also a PI. Now, how could it become a EPI? Grouping would have been, in this case, like this. These are 4 ones, so you should cover these, then this. One more is here, so like this. Okay, this one can be covered with this square or with this. Guys, actually it was disconnected. So let me start where I was doing again. What I was saying is, suppose we have 7 ones like this, or let me add in this one only like this. Okay, we'll form one pair, one square. Again, we will form this square. This can be covered with this, and this can be covered with this. So how many PIs are there? 1, then 2, then 4. These 4 are PI. Out of this one is uniquely covered. So 1 is also a EPI. Okay. Similarly, this 2, that is this square, has this one which is unique, which is not covered by any other min term. So EPI. What about third one? This one is going in a square as well as in a pair. Square as well as a pair. Only a PI. Similarly, fourth. If you see this, square as well as a pair. This one is going in a square as well as a pair. So fourth is also PI. Now the thing that you are asking about unique and non-unique cases. See, higher of let us say Z, how much this will be B bar plus the upper quad will be A bar. Okay. Either consider the min term or sorry the prime implicant 3 or 4, but not both. Take if you take 3, it will be BC, but if you take 4, B bar plus A bar plus AC. That is, there are possible solutions which are both equally correct. You can take any of that. Okay. How we count EPI, PI, and how we can determine unique and non-unique solution. Okay. So remember, APIs are those which have at least one min term which is not covered in any other pairing or prime implicant. Okay. And also, guys, please do one thing. Whenever I am answering doubt of anyone, that comment so that I know it has been answered, and kindly maintain the same rule. The first doubt, if you have any queries regarding this, please reply to the same comment so that I can answer it side by side. Okay. EPI, PI, and how do we take unique cases? Okay. Then let me go to the next doubt by Sally. She is saying, sir, please explain zero input response and zero state response using state transition matrix. State transition matrix is given like this. State equation, and this is the output equation. Is if we are talking about forced response, then we take Laplace. It will be SXS minus X of 0 equal to AXS US. So what we do is XS is basically minus a is equal to x0 plus b us. Okay, remember this is small, that is it is in time domain. This one is in Laplace domain. So what is capital X of s? It is si minus a inverse plus si minus a inverse b u of s. So if I take inverse Laplace x of t, inverse of si minus a inverse, this x of 0 will lie outside only. Why? Constant. Then Laplace inverse of minus a inverse us. Okay. So this is called as phi t into x0. This is called as Laplace inverse si minus a inverse b u of s. So this is your natural response, or this is your zero input response. Because in this, if you take input to be zero, that is u of s to be zero, you will only get the first term. This is called as zero state response, because if you take initial condition or state to be zero, the response will be equal to second term. So these are the two type of response. If you want to understand how we can use this, so let me take a simple matrix 0, 0, 1. I'm taking identity, or let me say minus 1, minus 1. Okay. Take 1, 0. Okay. And I'm taking unit step input. So first step would be si minus a. This will become now s plus 1, 0, 0. What about si minus a inverse? For diagonal matrix, it is directly reciprocal of the diagonal elements. Okay. Now from here, I can calculate phi of t. Laplace inverse of si minus a inverse. Okay. I have written directly si minus a inverse because for diagonal matrix, by taking reciprocal of diagonal element, we can find inverse. Power minus t 0, 0, e to the power minus t. I will assume x of 0 as, let us say, 1, 1. This is, assume that this is given to us top. So first of all, 0 input response. It is phi t into x of 0. E to the power minus t, 0, 0, e to the power minus t, 1, 1. So this become e to the power minus t, e to the power minus t. State response. First of all, what you have to do is, you have to take si minus a inverse into b. How much will this become? T 0, 0, e to the power minus t into 1, 0. That is e to the power minus t 0. Sorry. Actually, what we have to do is Laplace inverse, but we only had to take that. Okay. So it will be 1 by s plus 1, 0, 0, 1 into 1, 0. So how much will this come out to be? 1 or 0. Now if you multiply it by u of s, it will basically be 1 by s. So it will become 1 by s, s plus 1, 0. Okay, we have multiplied by us. Us will be transform of step input is 1 by s. Now by partial fraction, it can be written as 1 by s minus 1 by s plus 1, 0. So if you take Laplace inverse, then zero state response will come out to be e to the power minus t and 0. Now sum of these two values will give me the response. Okay. So that is how we calculate each term. I hope now it is pretty much clear. Moving on to the next one. So Mayank is facing difficulty in graphical convolution. So let me take a case of continuous time. Do is I'll take two rectangular function of different weights and I'll explain how it is done. 1 or let me say 10. 2, 2. Next, let me take, let us take this. Or let us say 3. xt, yt. I have to convolve these. Now, first thing that you need to observe is we have to reverse or shift one signal. Now you have to see which signal is easier to flip and shift. As according to me, this one is easier. Why? Because it is even signal, even by flipping and shifting. So what I'll do is I will draw x of minus t. It will remain same signal. Then what I'll do is x of t minus tau. Tau minus x of minus t. So it will be, sorry, x of minus tau. Now I'll do x of t minus tau versus tau. Since I'm adding t, I'm shifting it towards right by an amount. 2 plus t. This will become minus 2 plus t. I have shifted it right towards by t. This signal exists from 0 to t. Maximum limit as minimum. If the rightmost point of this signal is, there will be no and t is less than 0 or t is less than 2. In that case, the convolution z is the right when between 0. That is, there is greater than 0 but less than 3. That is, t lies between minus 2 and 1. In that case, what happens? This is our signal. Guys, is it now visible? Please let me know if it is now visible. Shall I repeat it? Okay. I'll do it again. See, what I was saying is, suppose we have to take convolution of two signals. Say is a rectangular function going from minus 2 to plus 2. Xt and its amplitude is 10. What I am giving you is like this, yt. Now what is their convolution is integral x tau y t minus tau. It is also equal to integral xt minus tau d tau. Okay. Method, what we have to do is, first of all, we have to flip and a signal. Okay. That we have to choose a signal which is easier to flip and shift. Okay. So what we do actually is, first of all, we choose one signal which has to be flipped and shift. See, it is actually even signal. So it is a better choice to use this expression, that is to flip and shift xt. So first of all, what I do is axis. That is, I make it x of minus tau. Instead of t, now I am using tau. Since it is even signal, it will remain as it is. We'll do is, this is 5 tau versus tau. Now, when you shift it or when you add t to this function, what it will do is write by an amount t. 2 plus t. Now, how do I interpret this integration is, it is the area of the product of two functions. Take a product, and should it be non-zero, then there must be certain overlap between the two signals. So what I do is, first of all, I take the condition of no overlap. No overlap, the rightmost point of this signal, the leftmost point of this signal, leftmost is 0, plus t is less than 0, or we can say t less than minus 2. So that is the condition for no overlap. Otherwise, what you can do is, you can also evaluate limits of convolution. How? Limits minus 2 and 0, that is minus 2. Add upper limits 2 and 3 is 5. 0 minus 2 and above 5, convolution would be 0. Take next case. In the next case, what I say is, this rightmost edge, t plus 2, behind 3, but outside 0. That is 2 and 1. In that case, what happens is, this will be our one of the signal. Let us say like this, minus 2 plus t, 2 plus t. This value is less than 3. Here it is the second signal which has amplitude 5, it has amplitude 10. Common region is this one. So what we do is, we first multiply these two amplitudes and then we'll take the area. If you multiply 10 and 5, what you will get? 50 is from 0 to 2 plus t. So 50 t plus 2. Okay. That is the case between minus 2 and 1. I'll say that this edge crosses 3. Still remains behind 0. How do I determine this? It has a width of 4, whereas it has a width of 3. Part in which what will happen is, this entire rectangle will enclose this smaller rectangle. That is what I am saying is, t plus 2 is greater than 3, but minus 2 plus t is less than 0. That is, t is greater than 1, but t is less than 2. 1 and 2. Then what happens is, what kind of figure will be formed? Smaller signal up to 3. So this is our larger signal, like this. So this point 2 plus t is greater than 3, but minus 2 plus t is less than 0. In that case, the overlap will be from 0 to 3. The amplitude and area we have to take up to 3. So how much it will be? I'll do is 2 plus 3 still remains greater than 3. Plus 3 becomes greater than 0. Is less than 3. Okay. That is how much t lies between 5. In that case, if t lies between 2 to 5, what will happen is this is 3. So this is our bigger signal like this. So this is minus 2 plus t. Now overlapping area is between t minus 2 to 3. Both and take the area 3 minus t, that is 50 into t. Now when this becomes greater than 3, then t becomes greater than 5, crosses the maximum limit and there is no overlap. Can find integration or convolution in different regions using graphical method. But this method is only recommended when you have to find convolution at a point. Suppose I asked you at t equal to 3 seconds. Thing is actually not variable. Here we will keep t3, so I'll shift it directly by an amount 3. So what I'll do? Minus 2 plus 3 will become minus 1. 3 will become 5. And this will be 0 to 3. So now I can directly take the common area. So when you have a fixed t and it is asking you at that particular point, चला जाएगा वो. Is my voice clear now? Are you able to hear me? So I think now it is clear. So what I was telling you guys is, if you want to do graphical convolution, it is better that you do when it is asked you at a certain point time. Okay. So what you have to do is, when it is giving you that you have to determine, let us say, the convolution at t equal to 3 seconds, then do not shift the signal by t, rather shift the signal directly by 3 seconds. Is it fine? You can save a lot of effort and time in graphical convolution, but if you have to derive something of t, then it is not suitable to use graphical convolution. When whole plot is asked, it is better to do using your numerical method. That is directly by integration rather than by using the graphical convolution. Because otherwise it takes a lot of time and effort to solve using graphical convolution. It is better for me if you can let me know all the issues that you are facing in the Facebook group. Why? You can comment on the same post in the same question that I am answering. To see your comments on the video while I am answering any doubt. Okay. So kindly please let me know if your doubt is clear in the same group on the same link on which I am answering. So like this, Mayank Sahu was asking about graphical convolution. So kindly reply to that his comment so that I know what is happening with you guys so that I can change it. Possible for me to switch in between screens and see what you guys are commenting at this portal. I know it is difficult for you, but please try and manage this. Know if you are able to hear me or not. Okay. The next Sahu, please explain one numerical on effect of Fourier series coefficient if a symmetrical signal is shifted by t by 4. So Mayank, I remember that you were asking this question like this. This sort of a signal was given. Minus t by 4 plus t by 4 is 3t by 4. 1 minute, minus t by 4. This is, I think, t by 4. Then t by 4 minus t by 8, I think it should be. Let me memorize. So let me deal with in terms of, let us say it is given like this. Minus pi by 4. Let us say 3 pi by 4. Then let us say this is 7 pi by 4. So this is xt versus omega t. Now what I was telling you is, if you shift this signal left by an amount, 4, then it will be like this. It will now become even function. Since now it is even function, what is relation between yt and xt? Basically, x of omega t plus pi by 4. I have shifted it by an amount. Okay. So if you find the Fourier series for this signal, you only have to calculate ak because bk will be 0. Why bk will be 0? Because there is no even, so there will be no sine terms in the signal. Is it fine? So it will only have ak type of coefficient. ak, what happens is, for this signal, if you find ak, series like this, summation n equal to 0 to infinity cos k t. That will be the Fourier series of yt. Obtain xt. If you want to obtain xt by yt, you have to delay the signal by pi by 4. I of omega t or y of omega t pi by 4. Okay. So what you will write is xt will be n equal to 0 to infinity ak k omega naught t minus pi by 4. That will be the Fourier series of xt. And I think this I might have used in power electronics. There you can see such example where I have directly shifted a signal in order to obtain the Fourier series. Okay. saying that API should always be there in solution, and apart from API, we have to include other implicants in solution such that all ones or zeros are covered. Mostly there in the solution. Okay, but yes, there can be non-unique APIs, that is, you can cover ones in more than one way. So you are absolutely correct. So let us move forward. Answer doubt of Mayank. Cooper Bradley, arrival and departure for root locus and CRL. See, uh, departure and arrival, what you have to do is, suppose this is a kind of, okay, so let me say this is J. First plot the pole zero plot. Determine angle of departure complex poles. You can also determine at real poles, but directly we know it from rule number 3 and zeros. So angle of departure is nothing but it states us, or it tells us at which angle should the branch of root locus leave a particular pole. Is we connect it to the rest of the poles. One more zero is there like this. Angle of these branches from positive real axis like this. This is theta 1. This is theta 2. This is theta 3. This is theta 4. First of all, we calculate phi, that is angle from zeros minus angle from poles. Angle from 0, theta 4. What are the angle from poles? Theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3. Okay. So theta 4, you can calculate like this. What is the distance along x-axis 2? Because this point is -1. What is the distance along y-axis? It is 1. So it will be tan inverse half. What about theta 1? Distance is 1. Y-axis distance is also 1. So tan theta is 45. 45, which means theta 1 is. What about theta 2? Theta 2, it is directly 90 degree. Theta 3 is again 45 because x-axis length is 1, y-axis length is also 1, so it is 45. Calculate phi, angle of departure is phi. If it was a complex zero, we would have calculated angle of arrival. The same way we will calculate phi, but it will be 180 minus phi. For complementary root locus, you have to replace 180 degree by, that is the only difference in uh, complementary root locus. Now the next question is from Randhir Singh. Why power factor is cos of phi? Is when we derive instantaneous power like this, Vt into It, it is nothing but Vm sine of theta V, that is voltage, Vm sine of theta I. Vm into Im by 2 cos of theta V minus theta I minus cos of 2 omega t plus theta V plus theta I. Average, the average of cosine term, because it has 2 omega t or it is varying with time, so its average would be 0. So it will be, I am writing Vm Im by 2 like this, cos theta V minus cos minus theta I. So it becomes Vrms Irms. Since in the power expression cosine is coming, that is why we take power factor to be cos of. One other explanation could be power factor is the ratio of real to apparent power. Like this, a power triangle, angle phi. Then cos of phi will be base upon hypotenuse P by S. That is useful power by total power. That is your power factor. Okay. Question again by Randhir is why we take complex power to be VI conjugate, why we can't take V conjugate I. Basic reason behind this is in standard convention, voltage is taken as reference. Taken as reference, that means we can take conjugate of I but not V. Standard practice all around the world. That is why we take VI conjugate, because it is a general convention. I were the reference. That is, if I current was taken as reference earlier, then we would have taken V conjugate into I. Okay. Joy Ghosh, for two or more than two pole rotating machine, how flux is distributed? How all the flux, how all the 5 by 2 will interact with each other. Suppose this is my machine. Just say poles like this, north, north, south. Now flux will go like this from north pole to south pole, like this. It will go out from north and enter the south pole. With this south pole also it will interact like this. It will go out from north pole and then it will go into south pole. Similarly, this north pole will also do same, north, and it will come out of south like this. So if you see in each pole, there are two lines, 5 by 2, 5 by 2, and 5 by 2. Then each pole has two lines, so each pole has a flux 5. Per pole is 5. So these 5 by 2 are not interacting with each other, but under every pole shoe, these 5 by 2s are getting added to give us the resultant flux. Okay. Question is by Cooper Bradley. Z is equal to 4 angle 15. Can we write ZT as 4 omega t plus 15? Basically, Z is not a sinusoidal quantity. The phasor quantity. Z is simply a complex number. Z is equal to R plus JX, and in polar form it is written as under root R square plus X square angle tan inverse X by R. But Z is not a phasor. So you cannot express it in time domain. So has anyone commented anything? So Mayank, you are saying that it is written in concept that shifting by t by 4, AK becomes BK and BK becomes AK. Yes, because t by 4, if you try it in terms of angle, 360 by t into t by 4, that is 90 degree. 90 degree, this cos will be converted to sine, converted to cos, hence AK becomes BK and BK becomes AK. I have explained Cooper. Actually, I missed that doubt. So I have now explained it. Okay, let me see other doubts as well. So Naveen, next is by Naveen. For a particular kilowatt rating of an induction motor, the kVA rating of shunt capacitor required is for particular kilowatt rating. So kilowatt rating is fixed. To next page. P is fixed. To know the QC. QC is basically P tan phi 1 phi 2. Now if you see, about kVAR rating of shunt capacitor. What is the power factor of induction motor, or phi Sx2 by R2? So if slip is high, that is speed is less, phi is high, and phi is Sx2 by R2. If tan phi becomes high, this QC also becomes high. If or less speed, take more rating of capacitor. So answer should be B. And Naveen, before a capacitor start motor reverse its direction, the centrifugal switch is open, running winding is open, capacitor connection must be reversed, is connected to the line. Before a capacitor start motor reverses its direction. Actually, the thing is, why would a capacitor start motor would reverse its direction? Once the motor has started, it must continue to run in the same direction. So actually, I'm unable to get this question. Why will it be reversing its direction? Actually, capacitor start motor increases the starting torque angle between the auxiliary current and the main winding current. But why would it reverse its direction? So Naveen, actually this question is not pretty much clear to me because I don't see any reason why it should reverse its direction. Next again from Naveen, a lossless transmission line of 600 kilometer, the phase shift of voltage signal. So Naveen, these questions are done like this. Velocity of wave is 1 by under root LC. That is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8. I am taking it as a speed of light if not given. Is omega under root LC. Okay. That way you can calculate beta. That is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Phase shift is basically beta into L. So L is given to you as 600 kilometer. Calculate the phase shift of a lossless transmission line of 600 kilometer length. Next is from Amanna Sastri. Please explain concept of implicant and essential prime implicant. I have answered this. In second order RLC circuit, which peaks faster, underdamped or overdamped, is the fastest system. So it will peak faster as compared to critically damped or overdamped. And anyways, there is no peak observed in critically damped and overdamped response because they can never exceed the steady state value. So peak is only observed in underdamped system. Next is from Abhinjan. Please explain the concept of what should be the convention of active power, reactive power, and capacitive current flow in case of leading, lagging power factor from to a load to a source. There are two sign convention. For absorption. So you just have to see enters the positive terminal of voltage, power is absorbed. The second one is for delivery of power. It leaves the positive terminal, the power is delivered. Okay. So that is how we check absorption and delivery. Here with this. Now, if P to V into I comes out to be greater than 0, absorbed. If P is equal to Vi comes out to be less than 0, then delivered. That is, I am combining these two conditions. That is, if based on current direction, you are saying power is being absorbed and it comes out to be positive, it is absorbed. But if you are saying by current direction, it should be delivered, sorry, it should be absorbed and power comes out to be negative, then it is delivered. You are assuming that the power is being delivered because current is coming out of positive terminal 0, then actually power is getting delivered. But if it comes out to be less than 0, then power is getting absorbed. So that way you can judge the direction of power flow first based on current direction and voltage polarity. Assume whether power is getting delivered or absorbed. Then calculate the actual value of power and verify if it is getting delivered or absorbed. Okay. After you have calculated the power. Okay. Is it fine? So let me see what you guys have commented here. So Sandeep Kumar Kandukuri, guys, please post your doubts on that Facebook post because I will not be able to see on this link. Okay, still I am seeing and I'll only answer it verbally. How leakage flux in a transformer depends on load current, why not voltage, frequency, and power factor? Leakage flux. Basically, the flux is generated by a current because MMF is equal to N into I and flux is MMF upon reluctance. So, the total flux in any machine is dependent upon current. Some portion of that total flux acts as a mutual flux while some flux goes in air, that is called as leakage flux. And the ratio of mutual flux to total flux is called as coupling coefficient. It depends on physical orientation of the winding. I have created a machine so that orientation of winding remains same. That means coupling coefficient cannot change, which means ratio of mutual to total flux will remain same. A coupling coefficient is the ratio of leakage to the total flux. That should also remain same. Increase the current. That is, if you increase the total flux, the leakage and the mutual flux should change accordingly. But mutual flux does not change. Why? Because that component is cancelled using primary current. Okay. That component is cancelled using primary current, but leakage flux will change according to the change in the total supply current. Is it fine? Coupling coefficient depends on the winding orientation. So I'm answering only one and two doubts from these chat, but guys, please post it on the group. Next is from Avinash Dogra. How third harmonic component is not present in line voltage in delta connection? Avinash, third harmonic or zero sequence is always absent in the line voltage. Why? In delta, you might be thinking line voltage is same as phase voltage. Then why third harmonic is absent? So let me explain this a bit. See, what happens is third harmonic voltage. But actually it is impedance. So this is third harmonic. This is third harmonic EMF. This is third harmonic impedance. Now due to this, there will be a current flow in this circuit. EMF 3 times E3 and 3 times Z3. So current will flow E3 by Z3. Current flow, what I can say, plus minus the voltage across this impedance, I into Z3. So if you see plus minus, then minus plus. So these two values will cancel each other so that in line voltage, there is no third harmonic. Means the entire third harmonic voltage is appear across the voltage drop across the third harmonic impedance. Hence, we do not see any third harmonic in the. Okay. So I have answered, Naveen, your other doubts. I have to see this 3-point starter problem. Starter for a DC shunt motor is not used where wide range of speed control above rated speed is required. So see, for wide range of speed control above rated speed, we need to use the flux weakening. That is, we need to reduce the flux in order to obtain wide range of speed control. Now, what happens in a 3-point starter is what it has saying. The motor may stop at low speed. Correct, absolutely correct. Actually, I have answered it incorrectly. The answer should be A. Happens. The speed of the motor will determine EMF, because EMF is directly proportional to speed. Motor is slow or low, is low, due to which flux will be dropping in shunt motor. And we see if flux drops, there will be a no load, okay, in which it will release the handle and it will bring the motor to a stop. That is, 3-point starter is designed in such a way, if the magnetism or if the flux goes below a certain point, it has to turn off the motor. So motor will stop at low speed. It cannot run at very low speed. Okay. That is one of the reason why we can't use wide range of speed control. Next is by Akash Trimurti. In closed loop system, 1 plus GH equal to 0 is the characteristic equation. Roots of characteristic equation are equal to poles of closed loop transfer function. If these poles of closed loop transfer function lie in LHP, system must be stable. Characteristic equation can also be called as zeros of characteristic equation. So zeros of characteristic equation must lie in the left half plane for closed loop stability, because zeros of characteristic equation or roots of characteristic equation are the closed loop poles. None of the poles of a linear control system lie in the right half of the S-plane for a bounded input. Output of the system is bounded. Because Beebo's stability criteria itself says if none of the poles lies in the right half plane, the response will be for a bounded input. Okay. Next is by Jitendra Maurya. I am answering only the conceptual doubts because numericals do take time. Like you to first show your solution for this question which you are asking. That is, you are asking solution of two signals which are discrete in nature. You can easily do this. What you can do is, for convolution in discrete time, h of n minus k. Okay. So xk is basically 1 from 0 to 4. Okay. After that it is 0. We go from 0 to 4 will be 1. H of n minus k will be alpha to the power n minus k. So that will be alpha to the power n can be taken outside. K equal to 0 to 4. 1 by alpha to the power k. Power n. 1 by alpha. 1 by alpha square. Alpha cube. 1 by alpha to the power 4. This is a GP. You can take the sum of this GP. This will be your n. Okay. Answer. Is it fine? You can directly do it using formula. A continuous time signal yt is defined as e to the power minus t u of t, where equal to minus infinity to plus infinity t minus 3k. solve with delta function, we get a shifting in the function. So it will be like this: e to the power minus t minus 3k u of t minus 3k. That is what we get. So it is saying it can be written as y is equal to a e to the power minus t from 0 to 3. From 0 to 3, if you are saying, from 0 to 3. So it is from k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Then the value of a is. Oh, sorry, Jitendra, what you have done is ut minus 3k is 1 whenever goes from minus infinity to 0. Minus infinity to minus 1 is 0. Okay, 0 to 3. Right. Minus infinity to 0 is 0 to infinity e to the power minus t e to the power minus 3k minus t 1 by 1 minus e to the power minus 3. So Jitendra, I think your solution is correct. It is absolutely correct what you have done is. So I think your answer is correct. If something else is given, then that would be wrong. Guys, are there any other doubts left in this post? So let me see the webinar. Are there any other queries left? Actually, what Jitendra has done is correct. So Abhinjan is saying I have a doubt on reactive power flow and capacitive current flow in leading power factor case and lagging power factor case. And in capacitor, capacitor will always operate at a leading power factor. See, you assume it to be IC. If direction of IC would be different, then definitely your IC would be negative if capacitor delivers current. So you do not have to worry about the direction of current. You always assume that current enters the positive terminal. Now what about direction of reactive power flow? As I have told you, current is entering positive terminal. That means I'm assuming it to be power. Now if Q comes out to be negative, then it is delivering Q. And if Q comes out to be positive, it is absorbing Q. Okay. So always assume in a capacitor also that current enters the positive terminal. So if reactive power comes out to be positive, it is absorbing reactive power. If it comes out to be negative, then it is delivering reactive power. And guys who are having queries about what kind of webinar is this and where they are posting doubts. So this webinar is only for Capsule Zeta users, which are Creatrix registered users. This is a live doubt solving session for those guys. Post any doubts on this link, at least so that I know which users are genuine and which are not. Kindly post doubt on the Facebook group. I think I have answered all the doubts. So now I'll be closing this webinar. We'll definitely conduct one more webinar soon. Keep posting your doubts on the Facebook group and I'll keep answering them as and when I get time. But definitely I try to answer within a few hours only. But guys, actually I have a morning class here in the offline classes. That is why I cannot answer before 2 p.m. on any day. After that, I'll be able to answer any of your queries. So kindly don't get any impatience, or don't get impatient. Don't tag me again and again. It is my habit nowadays to go through all your doubts and answer whatever I can. We are trying to do the best for you, but please understand that we have other commitments as well. So we'll answer your doubts after 2 p.m. itself. Okay. Abhinav is free. He is also answering your doubts. He can answer in the morning. But if I have to answer certain question, I'll only answer in the evening. Okay. Don't expect me to answer your queries at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because I also have to sleep in order to take the morning class. Thank you guys. This was a wonderful webinar. Next time we'll definitely make sure it is more technical, or it is, let us say, there are less glitches. I know it is a bit inconvenient for you, but even we can't deal with technology at such an extent. Sometimes we are also limited in our resources. Okay. But we still try to provide the best of the resources to you. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. And then we'll be conducting a new webinar. Until then, see you on the Facebook group. Thank you guys.